Welcome Libra to the Air Moon Eris channel. Tonight's reading will be the Libra Zodiac reading, whether it's a Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury or stellium placements, and cross watchers are welcome. If you're checking in on a fellow Libran in a loose manner, there is, I don't know, I've been having a few things come on before starting tonight's reading, and one of the things was that I felt like I was severely procrastinating, and not even that, but I did what I could trying to pre-record videos for the signs leading up to Libra in advance, because I knew I had a couple of days where I probably wouldn't be able to get anything done, so that way there wouldn't be, you know, a break too big in between. Anyway, and while I was doing this, I anticipated a break, so I prepared for it in advance, and then it actually didn't matter. I still didn't have like enough videos, and I didn't anticipate like how much was going to be happening in that span of time. So and then I felt like a real reluctancy to want to have to do tonight's reading. Like I just kept putting it off, and I drink a lot of cacao. Anyway, it's a thing. And it's kind of one of those things that I try not to have more than like one a day. And I'd already had one for the day. And it's a bit of a comfort thing for me. And I was like, I think I just have to have a cacao so I can do Libra's reading tonight. And I keep this whole entire time, I keep thinking about Sagittarius. So I don't know if there's like a significant Saggy coming through for you, or if there's like maybe there's some sort of other Sagittarius placements within like your chart or something like that. Okay, so I feel like these are the cards that we need. So what do we have? Okay, so it looks like there's like some sort of wish fulfillment coming in, or it's landed in your lap. And you're not really sure what to do with it. You're not really sure if you trust it. You're not really sure if it is what it seems to be. Like it seems too good to be true. So there might be an element of being in a defensive stance, but this is really a time to be like in a receiving place, because that way you can allow it in and you can accept the good things that are coming your way. And I do feel like, I don't know if this is like another person or a situation or a work situation, something, whatever it is, it's like if only you could allow this good thing to happen, then it would make it so much easier for you than feeling like you have to fight it. Yeah. Something separate here between them. And so I feel like sometimes being too defensive will lead us into a place of fighting fights that didn't need to be had. There could have been like another way around it. And maybe it's only afterwards that we realize that that was the case, that maybe there was like something else driving it, like a hidden fear or some sort of subconscious belief or something like that. It's really hard to say. Ultimately, it ends in like a heartbreak. So, yeah. Let's see, what else? The heartbreak. We've got to talk about the heartbreak. So, I'm not sure where everybody's at, right? Everyone's going to be in different places in life. But when I drink cacao, I do feel my heart center open up. My heart does get a little bit warmer. And I do become more grounded and vulnerable. And it's been like quite a grounding practice for me in a supportive manner. I just want to tell people, like, quick disclaimer, cacao's not for everyone. It'd be something you'd have to look into or consult like a, you know, healthcare practitioner to see if it's something that you could have, because I think if you have like certain heart conditions and things like that, that it's probably not good. But just like, I'm not out here trying to encourage people. I'm just saying this is something that I do and this is what happens for me, okay? Anyway, so yeah, it's really grounding. It helps get me back in my body. Part of being in your body is sometimes having, and not sometimes, right? There's like just a detestment. There's a reluctancy to want to have to do this, okay? And so I'm wondering if this group is maybe the same. And, you know, sometimes that means being in your body with an open heart. We can operate with a closed heart, and that's fine if that's what you need to do to get through the day. But you can't stay that way forever. There's no real growth or progress in it. You miss out on a lot of good things. Just because we're purely shut off. And so it's just, you know, now I'm talking about this, I feel like I'm starting to get emotional. I'm like, okay, we may have like gotten somewhere with this or hit the nail on the head. There's some sort of weird sayings coming through. I'll just tell you what it is. They're saying that, like, one for the time that you love them, or that they broke your heart, one for the time that they loved you and you broke their heart, and one for the times that no one loved anyone or broke anyone's hearts or something. I'm not really sure that came out right. They're just highlighting like the stormy weather in the background, and they're trying to remind you that it is just a storm, that it will come and go, and it'll be totally consuming now and for a while, and that's okay. And one day the rain will stop, or the clouds will part and the sun will come out, and you know, it'll just be something where this was like, you know, in the distance behind you. And I don't know if there's any other real way to get through it here. That's actually beneficial. So I'm not sure if some of you actually, it looks like you passed this opportunity up. Looks like something good come in and you may have passed it up. Yeah, this can be, the energy can be flipped here. So it's not necessarily going to be the same for every person, because this is a general reading. It's not the same as like a personal reading. So it could be a case that you were the 9 of Cups for a person. You could have actually been the wish fulfillment for another person. And yeah, this is probably more likely what it is for most people. So it's funny that it's come through the way that it has, but we're still going to talk through it. So you might have been this wish fulfillment for whoever this other person was, or whatever the situation was. And instead it was a case that they weren't really trusting. And it's like, I don't know, is it ego? Control. It's just like operating out of a place of fear and insecurity that really made them, they just had a lack of trust. They second guessed the situation, and they could have chosen to take a leap of faith and they didn't. And instead they held this defensive stance, and they just ended up hurting people. And to the point where I feel like you probably walked away because of this. And now everyone's left feeling a bit shattered and in tears, or at least confused and trying to work out what went wrong or how or why. I think this is one part of the message to be taken on, is that they just want you to like recognize that it's not necessarily a personal thing, that it had more to do with this person in a distrusting defensive stance. And it doesn't matter what side you're on. There's no judgment, right? We all go through, you know, certain things in our lives that can cause us to sit on either side here. Yeah, so it's not to be too hard on yourself. You can't take it personally. And it's just something that, like, I think you just need to take time to, like, you know, feel your own feelings and open up that heart space, and maybe remove any daggers out of it, and just wait for this cloudy weather to clear up a little bit before you move forward with anything too much. Getting a very strong nudge to pull an archetype card to see if I can find him. Okay, so we're pulling, they're saying it's a person, so we're pulling a card for the other person. So what we'll do instead of saying you or the other person is, That's too many cards. What are we doing here? No, they want me to take them all. Okay, we're doing it. Let's go. So the first card we have a storyteller. Ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. We have too many cards. That's okay. We can do it. Power at the top. Okay. We'll just get this a bit better organized and then we can move forward. Okay. So ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols or making up tales that harm others. So we have a storyteller. Then there's the femme fatale. Highlights the erotic energy of the feminine, opens your heart when your dependency is rejected, or inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money and power. All right, so this side, I actually feel whatever this energy is, it's actually in the light attribute. So yeah, the ability to express and experience life through stories and symbols, and highlights the erotic nature of the feminine, opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. Yeah, so we're above board here. We're in the light attributes, okay. On the other side, we've got the warrior. So we've got strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrificing, conquering the ego. And then in the shadow attributes, we have trading ethical principles for victory at any cost, indifference to the suffering inflicted on others. So I feel like this warrior card lives in both attributes. And then we have the hermit card here. So hermit could be Virgo, but that's okay. We have light attributes, seeks solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity, or the shadow attributes, withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgments of others, refusing to help those needs. I feel like it's probably a bit of both. Mostly the light attribute for the hermit card. It's just like a sense of retreating. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Displaying strength, but then taking it too far where it's like at the cost of something else, and then feeling like you have to retreat because you don't agree with your decision, or you realize, yeah, there's something there. Okay, and then the poet. So increase the soul and stuff. This is weird. I'm getting something about like speaking words of affirmation to each other, but then it might not be necessarily to each other. It might just be in regards to the situation, like regarding each other. So maybe no matter what side of the fence that you sit on, these cards might just be like confirmation for you in some way. Regardless of what side of the fence you sit on, maybe speaking some sort of kind, compassionate words of affirmation to yourself about the situation will actually be really healing way for you to work with the heart center and help open it up and warm it, and you know, it might do some sort of healing there as well. It might set the vibration or the tone for moving forward, and it's a way to sort of give our inner child and our inner selves some love that maybe we haven't received before. And those affirmations could look like something that I did years ago when I was going through a particular time, is that I would just try to take deep, sort of slower breaths that were a bit more calming. And my affirmation was, my heart is light and strong. And I'd make sure I'd like sit up straight and take a deep breath in to like really fill up the rib cages and expand it out, so that you're like allowing all that chi, that prana, ki, whatever you call it, the life force energy coming in and expanding up into your heart center and filling your lungs and everything, and then just breathing it back out. And it was, my heart is light and strong. And there'll be different things for every person, and there's so many mantras and chants out there. You can make up your own. It's fine. You don't have to go look one up. It doesn't have to be a certain way. Yeah. Okay, so I want to get back to something else here. So one thing that may have this 9 of Cups person may have actually, what am I trying to say? This is, do you know, I feel really clouded throughout this whole, it's like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I'm not clouded, but I'm like not really seeing things clearly. So then I'm like, well, I must lack some clarity, and then am I just too caught up in some of the feelings around it? It's like being caught up in the details, and you know, like Virgo does that as well, right? So like that Hermit card. God, for the life of me, do I know what they have in common? And you think that I might, but I haven't connected the dots. So I know like Libra and Virgo can be on the cusp of each other, like with Virgo following Libra. Yeah. And sometimes that's what it is because like Virgo will have that finer attention to detail. Okay, so this Page of Swords person, it looks like there was some sort of insecurity around this Nine of Cups person having a good self-worth in a rich world, rich inner world, where they actually were quite fulfilling to themselves and they filled their own cup, and maybe they like naturally had more compassion for themselves or moved with more confidence or something like that. I can't really tell what it is, but I feel like they also had confidence in their own authenticity and expression as in how they show up in the world as well. And it's almost like, no, there's something else here I'm missing. What is that? Do you know, this is also really bizarre because I'm also getting a backhanded message sort of come through saying everything that they did was for them. And I wonder if it's kind of like there's definitely, I don't know, it's like if everything that this person did was for themselves, like it would explain why their cup is full, but then how do we work with that? Like, what do we do? This is a bizarre message. It seems like a very specific one, so just feel free to disregard it. It'll only be for, like, for those that it's for, you're welcome to take it on board, but it won't be for everyone. So just if it's not for you, don't try to make it fit, just move on with the rest of the group. But I was getting something about anything that you do say or that you can say and do say will be used against you in a court of law. So I wonder if there's like some sort of separation. So it's like, I wonder if someone here has decided to start filling their own cup, and maybe it looked like they had to, maybe it looked like to other people they were being selfish in order to do that, but maybe that's what they needed to do. Maybe what they did was actually go through like a separation here, or had to step away from a person or leave a situation, something like that, in order to be able to actually do that. And this other person really didn't like it and they wanted them to come back. They wanted them to still be like in their sights. I almost feel like there's an element of control here. Okay. Hoping that this isn't like triggering or dissociative. We might put like a trigger warning on this one just in case. I don't know. Look, there's the chances are is probably pretty low, but you just don't know. Moving on. So for this Nine of Cups is like often talked about as like a wish fulfillment, but I have a funny feeling that the way that this person turned into this wish fulfillment was through navigating the scenarios of their life, that like every time something happened they found a way to fill their cup up from it. So instead of it detracting from their life, it was like really character building and they were able to do something positive with it and they had growth. So it was like maybe there's been like 9 significant tragic or traumatic things, or just, no, it doesn't matter what it is. That doesn't have to be a label. Maybe there was just 9 things that just happened that were just like unfortunate events, and this person's managed to do really well with it. And it would be hard to watch someone else have the ability to do this if we don't ourselves, okay? Libra, I don't really want to leave this here, but I'm not feeling like there's really anything else here. And I'm not sure how much more I can give you. I'm just going to take a moment to check in and just make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay, it doesn't seem like there is. So this is a bit of a funny one. I think there's just going to be like different snippets of messages here for different people within the group. So I hope that this was helpful in some way, and I'll see you all in another video. Thanks.